Fuck your feelings.
It's Layla.
And Jordan.
And this is
Sorry Did We Offend You, where we keep it real.
All the time. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about college and if we think it's a scam or not. Whether you go to college or are planning to go to college, this episode definitely affects you. Some people have their different opinions, but me personally, I definitely may have some controversial ones. Before we get into it, though, we want to introduce our special guest.
Our special guest today is Dwayne Seaton. He is a person who's worked with countless of musical artists, countless famous people, and he also attended NYU. So, Dwayne, what do you think about this topic?
Hey, what's up, people? Dwayne Seaton. I went to NYU, never finished, but in regards to do I think if college is a scam, I wouldn't say it's a scam, but what I would say is it's not necessary. It's not for everyone because you spend all this money and you invest all this money into, getting a college career, and then half the times people that graduate aren't even using the knowledge they learned in college into what they're doing in life. So to me, it's a waste of money, but I would like to hear you guys' thoughts.
So from being a college student myself and going to college for graphic design, which is something that can be very lucrative in what you do with it. So I don't really need to go to college for what I do. It's more of a thing of that I want to get this extra education to see if I can further my knowledge on what I'm going to school for. But I could start working right now, and I feel like I could do perfectly fine. What about you, Honora?
So for me personally, this year I'm going to be a high school senior. So right now I'm thinking about college. I'm not attending it yet, but it's definitely something that's really heavily keeps being brought up into the conversation. So for me, I just believe that college, again, it's not for everybody. And I think that when making the choice to go to college, there's a lot of factors that you need to take into account because you don't want to just be going to college just because it has that name attached to it or just because you got accepted. It needs to be a choice that's really right for you. Also, I think that people need to take into account the debt, the financial cost of it could be really hard for some people, especially if you're a low-income family. So
I agree with you heavily on that, especially with the whole thing of debt. Me personally, I would advise almost everybody to go to college, at least try it out for a semester. Don't like it, okay, great. There's other options for you. But the whole thing about debt, that's very big as well. A lot of people don't end up paying their debt off. They pass on and their debt is still not paid off. And there's no real means of getting this debt paid off.
I got you. My take on it, too, is that I think college is for certain individuals. Like, for example, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, certain things you may want to learn, which college will help. But then there's some people that have another kind of gift where they don't need college. And, they could actually just take some certification courses and get the knowledge they need and, create successful businesses as well. So it all depends on the individual and how they learn, but I know you guys have some guests calling in soon too, right?
Yeah, we actually have 2 guests calling in, so let's get into that.
All right, so obviously we're gonna have to edit this part.
Yeah.
But that's my fault. I put you on the spot by having your guests, but I didn't know how else to tell you without,
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool.
All right, so I forgot we on YouTube too. So those listening on YouTube, this is a training podcast for these guys. They trying to create their own podcast show. So we're doing a live one just to get them to feel. So just so you guys know.
But as Honora is getting her guest on, I just wanted to say college is more or less... Oh, you're calling?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, so you got to introduce them. Here we go.
Hello, can you hear us?
Oh, we can't hear him. Hold on, caller. Give us 1 sec. Let's try to work this out. We can't hear him. Say something. Hold on. on, guys. Oh, here we go. All right, could you hear? Say something.
Hello,
All right, we hear you now. We had a little technical difficulties, but
how you guys doing?
we're good. We're good. Thank you for calling in.
Hello. So today's episode we're talking about if college is a scam or not. And I know that you go to college and attend college yourself. Would you mind telling us what college you go to?
Well, make him
I go
introduce
to the
himself.
University of Albany.
And you can also introduce yourself as well.
My name's Darren Fields. I go to
I
the
can't
University
hear.
of Albany.
Uh,
I'm a football player at the University of Albany.
All right, Derek. Just so you know, this is like a little test podcast we're doing for the students. So, would you mind just letting her do it over, just so we could capture a good clip of it? So, say,
Okay.
call her, introduce yourself, and do the whole introduction again, and make him introduce himself this time.
Okay. So on today's episode, we're talking about if college. Can I redo it?
Yeah.
Okay. Today's episode, we're talking about if college is a scam or not. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, my name is Darren Fields. I attend the University of Albany. I'm a football player there. I've been in college. I'm going into my senior year this fall.
Okay. That's great. That's great. This is y'all show.
That's what you was going.
I can't hear nothing.
Oh, you can't hear nothing. Oh,
That's what I
why.
just
My
said.
bad. My bad. My bad.
You don't hear anything?
No, I can't hear what he's saying. It's just buzzy.
You don't hear him?
I hear him.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm sorry. We trying to work out some technical difficulties. How you don't hear him?
I just hear him from the phone. I just heard. I didn't hear his like talking.
Hold on. Let me give you another headset. That's weird. Carla, can you say something?
Hello?
Yeah, I hear him on this one.
Really?
All right, she couldn't hear you on her headphones, so we just gave her another headphone.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead, take over.
Do you want me to reintroduce it and everything?
Well, we could edit it, so just so you guys can have it. But take it from what he just said after he introduced himself.
Okay. So he said that he was a student at Albany University.
Yeah, University of Albany. Yeah.
University of Albany. He's a football player. He's going into his senior year.
Oh, okay. So, how do you feel about the topic today?
I actually feel like it's a great topic. I'm actually excited that you guys are touching up on this topic. Being that you guys are, are you guys going into your last 2 years of high school, senior?
Well, I'm a senior.
And I'm going into my sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
Well, any point in college, this is a great topic to touch up on. I feel like a lot of kids should reflect on it before making the decision and just going to college.
So, how is your college experience so far? Have you had any issues?
Um, college, I mean, college it's kind of like the first time you're on your own as a young adult. So you go through issues like mentally on your own. Like I don't know, everyone's not just mentally prepared to be by themselves at just such an age. Like for me, like I never been away from my siblings for such amount of time. So like my biggest issue was like detachment issues from my siblings for a certain amount of time. Is that was just my only issue. Like so, my freshman year in college, like I couldn't leave like from school whenever I wanted. Like my sophomore year, once I was able to bring my car on campus, I had like a big issue staying on campus, like just because I didn't want to be away from my siblings. So everybody has different issues there. That was like my biggest issue in college.
I like that you brought up like the mental aspect of being in college because I think that we didn't even cover that yet. Being in college, I feel that there's different things that you face, as you said. So do you think have you seen like any of your other friends struggle like financially?
Yes. Actually, yes. So, me, I went. If I wasn't if I didn't play football, I actually wouldn't be in college. I'll be completely honest with all you guys. Well, my mom, my dad died 2 years ago. My mom definitely couldn't afford college on her own. So if I didn't have a scholarship, I probably wouldn't be in college myself. I had like a lot of walk-on friends that started off at the school and couldn't finish there just because they couldn't pay for it. And it's like you build lifetime long friendships. Like once you get in college, and you'll think you'll have the best of friends in high school. Once you get in college, like those guys are like guys or girls are like your brothers and sisters forever. Like you feel like you know them forever. So once like a kid is like can't pay for it or something, it's like sad. Like it's nothing you can do, and it's like really overtaxed for nothing. Like 9 times out of 10, you're teaching yourself um, whatever the topic is. It's not like how you sit in the classroom. And your teacher go over the lesson, and you can go up and see if you need help. It doesn't stop for you. Like it just keeps going.
I really liked how you brought up the fact of the relationships that you have in college, like
Yeah,
how you meet somebody in college and you feel like you know them. I know for me personally, coming into my first semester of college, there are some people I've only known for a month. It felt like I've known them for, I kid you not, 5 years. It felt like I've known them for 5 years, and I really felt a
yeah,
special connection to them. It was kind of
yeah,
weird. It was nothing ever that I felt in high school.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
and that
it's definitely important that we touch on the issue of the financial burden that it brings onto people because aside from loans and things, people can't really pay off those a lot of times. And coming from low income families and stuff without scholarships, like you said, you wouldn't have been able to attend college. So I think that, like, the amount of funding that these schools get for them not to be able to lower costs, that really brings up problems for the people that want to attend college and can't get this higher education.
And not only that, too, I would like to know what's your take on, like, do you feel college is for everyone? Do you feel that, college is, because in my take, I think entrepreneurs, some should take college, because it can help them, build successful companies. But it's just not for everybody. Like, even with me, for example, I went to NYU and I realized it wasn't for me and I didn't finish. But I built a successful company, without having to
yeah,
learn anything in college. And I know a lot of other people that did the same that didn't go to college at all, but yet still they were able to build $1 million companies. So
yeah,
I think college isn't for everyone because sometimes you'll invest all this money into it. And then, next thing you know, like I was telling them earlier, you're not even doing anything that you went to school for. So I would like to get your opinion on that.
So I don't feel like college is for everyone personally, but I feel like anyone can do it.
Hmm.
Um, me personally, I'm big on like whatever you put your mind to, anyone can do. So, I feel like anyone can go to college because me personally, I don't feel like college is for me,
Gotcha.
but I love football. So just the fact that I love football, um, I'm in college. I've never had a problem with like academics in school. Like academics always came easy to me, but my first semester of college was still a struggle for me academically.
Hmm.
So it's college is not for everyone. Like I had to adjust a whole different way from like I graduated with a 3.6, and then I was in college and my GPA was a 2.4, and I was over pushing myself, and it still wasn't good enough. Just because of I'm just used to the high school criteria and the college criteria is a little different.
Gotcha.
Honestly, and college is like I really feel like it's really a big finesse. I'm gonna be completely like straightforward with this one. Like I feel like it's a huge finesse. 9 times out of 10, the people that what you major in, you probably won't get a job in. For instance, so we both could, me and whoever else could be in a classroom. He could be at the top of the class. I could be at the bottom. But uh, my best friend dad owns the biggest company in the world, and I met him in college. I'm probably gonna have a higher paid job than him just because of the relationship I built.
Hmm. Okay, okay. What you guys got to say?
I think that that's a really good take on it because I feel that most people don't really talk about the learning curve that comes with going into college. It's definitely a different environment. You're by yourself. It's kind of your first time being alone, no parents, no family members. Um, Most of the time, you don't really know anybody. and then you're put into this education that you kind of have to adjust to, that you not really know and you don't really have help with. You got to figure it out yourself. So I definitely think that that's a really good take on it. And yeah, and like sometimes when you go to college, you could get your degree and still have trouble finding jobs. So that also um, goes with the financial aspect on it. But Jordan, what do you have to think about it?
All I have to say is that to me, I like what he said. I like what he said about how college is basically what I got from that towards the end was that college is about connections and who you connect with.
Hmm.
Because you
Yeah.
can know a lot of people that have connections to other people, and that could raise you to a place that you want to be. And I also believe that college is a huge gamble on something you want to do, because there's
Yeah.
no guarantee at all that you will make six figures just for having a degree in neuroscience. There's no guarantee at all, because that can go straight in the trash if one thing goes wrong.
Hmm. The salary that's attached to the degree doesn't necessarily apply to
Mhm.
you, especially when you need
Mm.
years of experience to actually get the salary
Mhm.
that they advertise to you.
And that's why I always, when I chose my major for college, I made sure I chose it based on how much I actually liked what I wanted to do rather than money.
Yeah.
Because money will come regardless. Being happy is like the most important thing when trying to chase something in life, in my opinion.
It's funny that you said that because today I was scrolling through TikTok. I was watching this guy that interviews people and asks them their occupation. And he interviewed a photographer and he said, "How much do you make a year?" And he said, "About $10,000. It's not much, but I love what I do." And he was like, "So what keeps you going?" He was like, "Just my passion. That's what keeps me going." And that really inspired me because I think that if you're doing what you love, you're always going to be good.
That's something that I could always like look up to.
We
Like,
have one more caller calling in.
yeah, they're calling in. But yeah, I'm like that's something I could really look up to and really value in somebody, that you're so humble within yourself that you can take a huge pay cut just to do something you love.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm willing to do. Like I want to be a graphic designer. They don't make too much money, but I love doing it. I love doing it to this day. It looks like we have another caller.
So thank you so much for calling in. We have another caller. We greatly appreciate you giving your opinion, and hopefully we see you on the podcast again.
No problem. You guys have a great day.
You too. So I think that was a really great discussion with the first
Mhm.
caller. I can't wait to get to the second one.
Unknown caller.
Hello, hello, caller. Hello. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Angelus.
Nice to meet you, Angelus. We're talking about, is college a scam? And are you in college?
Yes, sir.
So could you tell us, do you think college is a scam?
College is most definitely a scam. I think that it's crazy how lots of us pay tens of thousands of dollars for a degree, and a lot of the information that we get from our degrees, you could literally search up online.
Yes.
Like, huh?
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah, keep going,
Yeah,
keep going, keep going.
speak on it.
And I think that there's a lot of misinformation when surrounding getting a college degree. Like a lot of people think that when you get a college degree, that you'll you're guaranteeing yourself success, you're guaranteeing yourself a job, when that's not really the case. Most times you could find cheaper education offers with like online learning because there's like a vast amount of education for a considerable amount of prices online. And yeah, I just think college is a scam because of those things.
Yeah,
You're paying too much.
that's a very interesting point you brought up. How you could like do schooling online. cuts costs like by a lot. Like like staying on campus alone for me at least, bro, like $5,000 for 1 year of campus. $5,000. Room and board alone is $5,000. Getting into the dining hall is $4,000. That's already $8,000 tied up to two things that I could do at home for free. I could live at home for free, right there
Wow.
with my
Yeah.
mom's. That's a lot of money. And then on top of that, books. On top of that, again, you have what you call it. You have the tuition,
Yeah.
$10,000. Just throwing out a base number, and it gets worse than that. That's like on the good end.
Parties.
Parties don't cost money.
Just I mean not like parties, but just like, entertainment. Like you're not just gonna stay there, be bored in your
Yeah.
dorm all day.
Obviously, and that takes time out of your day, which ultimately costs you.
And then something that you can't really put a cost on is the time that you spend out of the classroom trying to understand the material.
Honestly, and it's you can like look up the things that are on like that your teachers give you.
Mhm.
I did it the whole semester. The whole semester. Quizlet, a dream. What are some other things? Quora, a dream. And Angelus, what do you Mathway,
Fact checker.
Yeah.
fact checker. Angelus, what do you think about this?
Um, just prices are ridiculous, and it's just why would you pay all that money to cheat your way through college? I'm sorry. Why would you pay all that money just
That's
to
funny.
cheat your way through college? And personally, I believe that we not only pay for our classes, but we pay for the experience. College can be a way of networking.
Mhm.
Mm. Yeah, like I've always said, college is 95% experience, 5% education. Cause you can't get that experience really anywhere else per se. No, that
Mm,
college experience you really can't get nowhere else.
Yeah, but the networking part, why pay $40,000 to network at a college
Ok-
when you can intern for somebody that works in that field and network
Okay,
yourself?
but here's the thing: it's easier to get internships when you're in college because you already have like they can see your GPA, they can see the work you've done. You can make portfolios and stuff, so it's easy. Well, it's easy to like slide into internship.
Let me touch on that too. I personally think the world is ran by who you know. You know, because sometimes you could have a college degree and then the boss's nephew get the job, or someone that has more swag than you and was able to, impress the person in the interview. They may end up getting the job. So sometimes the college experience ain't all what it's cracked up to be. And I like what the caller said. As in regards to for the experience, you paying whatever that number is for the experience. And sometimes that could be useful because it can help shape you as a person. But then sometimes it doesn't work in everybody because I know a lot of people that went to college and still have the intelligence of a doorknob. So it all depends.
They cheated.
It all depends. But again, personally, I know the caller didn't hear my opinion on this, but I think it's a waste of money because, there's a lot of people that have successful businesses that didn't go to college and they're self taught. They learned things on their own because the same books that they use in school to teach you, you could take those same books and teach yourself. So that's my take.
Yeah, and I feel like pretty much the same way. But to me, I'm speaking from experience. I can only speak for myself. I go to an HBCU. The experience is going to be way different than a PWI simply because I'm surrounded by people that look like me and understand me. So for me, the experience is put on such a pedestal because I'm around everyone that understands me, and
Mhm.
that I value that a lot when it comes to college.
Yeah, but I could also play devil's advocate here and say that there's other colleges, there's other HBCUs
Mhm.
that cost less and are more cost efficient. So instead of paying like $40,000 for tuition, which is kind of outrageous when you think about it, you can pay $12,000, like
Who's paying 40,000? Not me.
nah,
Not I.
nah. I'm just comparing, like because I'm currently a senior, so I look at colleges, look at price, campus size, I compare, and just It's
Mhm.
hard to find what's your fit, but definitely there's other options. Even if it's
Obviously.
not going to college, I think that
Yes, ma'am.
people always think, oh, you have to go to college. I'm pretty sure someone's probably told you that, right?
Everybody in my family told me that. There was only one person in my family that told me that college is not the only option, and I believe them to the highest extent because I've seen other people do it. They don't go to college, they become successful. Now, although they might be outliers, it still happens.
Yeah, but it's also that it's not just college. There's, trade schools,
Yeah.
right? And trades make lots of money. Those are like schools that we need. I mean, without electricians and construction workers, like what would we have? No buildings, like but I'm just saying like there's other options. Even you don't have to go to college to get a nursing assistant job. You can go
Yeah.
and go to like a smaller school, like a community college, and get a same degree and still get hired in your town. Like, there's other options, but people don't really speak on that.
Angeles, you got anything to speak on about that?
No, I completely agree. Like a lot of like the tech industry is growing rapidly right now, and a lot of times you don't need a college degree to get into tech companies. You just need certifications, and I think those cost way less than earning a degree in say computer science or what is it, cybersecurity or something like that.
Mm. And that makes a lot of sense because these people, all they really look for is experience. That's all they really look for. They don't really look for a degree per se. Of course, it would be nice to have one, but they want to make sure that you are someone trusted in your field. So they look for that a number of experience.
Yeah, because hiring agents, they don't go in and pick somebody who just freshly got out of college, has no experience. They're going to want somebody who either like has their certification or college degree but has the experience, has worked in the field before. Even if it's a year, they're going to pick the one that has a year
Hmm.
and good recommendations over the person that just got out of college and has no idea what they're doing.
Hmm. Now, along with this, there was an interesting conversation I had with my friend, and she was like, she had told me, "Do you think a college is or not college? Do you think a job is going to hire you if you go to Morgan State?" And I was like, "Yes. Why wouldn't they?" And then she would say, "Okay, now do you think a college is going to hire you if you go to like Princeton?" And I was like, "Yes. Why wouldn't they? But who are they more likely to hire?" And I'm just saying, I'm hiring the person who put more work in. It's not about what college you went to.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good to have you on, Angelus. Good conversation we had with you. And, have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming
Bye.
on. You have a great day.
So, I really appreciate our guests coming on today, but I really want to get into our next topic that also relates to the colleges. But we're going to have a short commercial break.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, good. Everyone is here. Next week is the intern's birthday, and I need someone to order a cake.
I'll get the cake.
Excellent, thank you. And a gift. Hi, you know what? Why don't we just use 50s.com?
50s.com? What's that?
50s.com is an online gift store that features all Black-owned brands, cards, and gifts, and 5% of their proceeds goes to charities doing work in the Black community.
Okay, cool. I'll get that.
Excellent.
So now our next topic, as Honora first introduced before our commercial break, was the whole crisis at what was it, Howard State? I mean not Howard State, Howard University, when they had mold in the rooms and the rooms flooded and they had thousands of kids sleeping on the floor in the lobby and in the student center.
The student-led takeover at one of the most prestigious HBCUs in the country is growing. For 2 weeks, more than 150 Howard University students have been occupying the Blackburn Center in the heart of campus and sleeping in a tent city outside, protesting what they call horrific, dangerous, and unlivable conditions inside several dormitories. Students say they're experiencing flooding in the hallways and mold growing inside their rooms, many of them sharing images online that have gone viral using the hashtag Blackburn Takeover. The school is one of the most notable and funded HBCUs in the country, accepting their largest single donor donation of $40 million just last year. Students who pay $40,000 to $50,000 a year to attend this university are demanding answers and changes. In a statement, the university pushed back on the claim, saying the well-being of our students is always one of Howard University's top concerns, and that the administration is actively addressing the concerns students have shared. Now, the university said all but one dorm has been renovated the last 5 years, and the complaints concern less than 1% of the rooms on this campus. But the students who have taken over that building say that's not the case, and they'll be there until there is a housing action plan that protects all students. They've been getting support from celebrities and Howard alumni as they continue to push for safer living conditions.
When we talked about this topic, if college is a scam or not, the first thing that came to my mind was actually a video of mold that I had seen in Howard. So for me, I personally think that colleges like Howard that are considered prestige and one of like bigger colleges, that are well known, like considering the funding that they get, I think that it's a huge problem and it's really problematic for them not to have a safety plan put in place for their college residents that are living on campus. What do you think about it, Jordan?
I think that is a very unfortunate situation when it happened down there in DC. But I also feel like there's a certain type of accountability that these colleges have to take for what they're doing, not what they're doing, but what happens in their dorms. They know there's mold in the dorms, and they know the dorms are flooded. So they have to find some place for these children to stay. They have to find a good place for them to stay.
Yeah, so for me, I just think that, having like even if you run a hotel or apartment building, in this case, it's a college campus. These places, like, they need to have plans put in place for emergencies. If there was a natural disaster, the college should have something put in place. So for them to have a health crisis and not have a safety plan put in place for their students, I think that's really horrible. And for students to have to reach out to social media, TikTok, Instagram, just to get the help that they need, and the school to be ignoring them, it's really bad, honestly. And it made me really frustrated because I was thinking, if I was in that predicament, if I was like out of state and went to Howard and I had nobody and I was very broke because I'm paying these high college loans and paying all this tuition and these books and stuff, then I would have a problem with it, especially the students that were camping out because they had nowhere to go and their things were damaged because it was flooding. But yeah, do you want to add on to that?
Like, okay, my whole thing with this is that it's a very unfortunate situation what happened in DC. Very unfortunate. But we also have to realize that real things do happen and they can happen unexpectedly. Now, it's still Howard's fault that they allowed this to go on as long as it did, but we can cut them a little bit of slack because this was a very unexpected situation, in my opinion. I don't know all the details of what went down, but from what it looked like, it was kind of unexpected, and they had to think quickly on their feet to how to get it done. Eventually, it did get done. I would imagine all the families are safe, all the children are safe, and the problem is dealt with.
Eventually, but for students to be basically homeless, to put it into simple terms, they had nowhere to live for a couple of days, maybe even more than 1 week. That's a long time for you not to have a safe place to stay. I think that the university should have had something put into place. You know, what happens if there was like a rodent, like what is it called?
Infestation.
Infestation. Like, what would they have done in that case? Like, they can't live in the dorms.
Now,
That's not livable.
I can speak from personal experience about a rodent infestation. Now, in my dorm, we had a mouse problem, and they did something about it. Like, once they heard about the mouse problem, they did something about it. You know what they did? They supplied us with mouse traps. That's what they did. I kid you not. They said, listen, you guys are adults. We're not going to baby you no more. You get mouse traps. That's it.
So there was no exterminator.
There was no exterminator. Well, okay, that's lying on their name. They got an exterminator that checked out all the areas a mouse could possibly get in, plugged up the holes. So when we did see one, it would get caught in the trap. You know, you smoked them. So so by that time, there was no more mice. They took care of it now.
Yeah.
There was no need for us to evacuate or anything. It wasn't like a huge problem. But everybody had the same problem, as there was at least one rat in every dorm or mouse.
Yeah, but I feel like that's also kind of different because that's still kind of livable. Like that's your university acting with quickness. You know, they're like, oh, this is a problem.
To be okay,
Here you guys.
not to cut you off, but it still wasn't the most livable situation though, because there was still there's still a lot of issues with the dorms itself. Like, my entire dorm's heating system went out in the summer, so it's like 95 degrees in the room. That's unlivable.
You mean like cooling?
Yeah, the whole system went down, and it took them weeks to get it fixed. In the bathroom, the whole ceiling came down. Like, and that's stuff that happened because of it just happened because of life. That's just what happens. Unfortunate things happen.
Yeah,
And-
but the thing is, these things happen, and we know this, obviously. You know, unfortunate things occur. But because you're paying for these high tuition costs and you're paying all this money, I think that the schools should take responsibility and fix the situation. There should be some type of accountability and action put into place. We are coming to the end of our show, and I thank you all for listening. But with that, do you want to add anything else?
No, I don't want anything else, but I would like to say this was a wonderful conversation that we had. Thank you to all our guests. Thank you, Honora. Thank you, Mr. Dwayne Seaton. And let's close this thing off, man. Like we said before, fuck your feelings and get some fucking sleep.
Bye, guys.
My name is Kassan Sherman. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. Everybody know me as Kazi. Some of y'all might be familiar with a record I did called Yeah Okay, featuring Rick Ross, Yo Gotti, Fabulous, some other big names. I think The Sounds of Tomorrow is a great program. The things I learned, I had to learn by myself. There was no one there to really teach me, so it don't matter what you do, what you got going on. If you don't have your foundation straight, your business straight, it's a lot of things that will come in between that. If this program was around when I first started, I think I would have been in a different place, but thankfully it's here now so we can utilize it. There's a lot of negativity surrounded in this community. We don't really think that it's an opportunity for us. Well, this is completely opportunity for anybody that want to be successful.
Join the Sounds of Tomorrow. Donate. Volunteer. Follow us online. The Sounds of Tomorrow. Be part of empowering minds everywhere. Log on to www.soundsoftomorrow.com.